A Chicago family is in battle with a professional squatter in their dead mom's home. Let's get right into it. So, a professional squatter with a long rap sheet has taken up residence in the home of a Chicago woman who recently died, and her family has been unable to kick him out for 6 months because of the overburdened court system. Darlutha Young's mother, who owned the duplex in the South Side neighborhood of Chatham for over 30 years, died last year, and the property was transferred to her daughter and her siblings, CBS Chicago reported. On September 23rd, I got a call from the neighbors to say there's been a shooting in the building, and when I went to the building and put my key in, it didn't work, Young told the outlet. She discovered a bullet hole in the front window and realized that the lock had been changed. The person who had been shot in the apartment, this guy named Takita Murray, came back from the hospital and informed us and the police that he now lived there, that he had rights, she said. He was a professional squatter, Young added. Which, to me, I find it crazy that you just can't kick them out, right? She says she called the cops who told her their hands were tied and advised her to seek an eviction through the overburdened court system. It's been a nightmare, Young, who hired an attorney, told CBS Chicago. Which to me, like, this seems like absolutely crazy, right? That you couldn't call a cop to basically, like, hey, kick this person out of my home. So Murray, who has been arrested on drug and weapons charges at least 6 times since 2017, told the outlet that he was in the process of finding somewhere to stay, adding, "You can't just move like that." Asked when he plans to leave the premises, he said hopefully by the beginning of May or April. Sometime in April, we've been looking. So that means it's more than just one person living there. That's pretty crazy. The intruder is apparently staying in the home with a woman who was seen leaving the building. But Young said the man has told her multiple times that he expects to leave shortly and still hasn't. Every time I've been there, he tells me he's leaving in 2 weeks. He's leaving in 2 weeks. He just can't He just cannot find a place, she told the news outlet. Murray claimed he rented the home from one of Young's siblings, but could not provide CBS Chicago with any written proof. "I guess I acknowledged her mom and her siblings that was their building," he said, adding that he assumed Young called him a squatter because she is trying to get us out of there faster. Which to me is like, you're a squatter if you're squatting in a location because you don't own it or rent from there. Michael Zink, a landlord tenant attorney who is not involved in the dispute, told the outlet that evictions in Chicago, whether it's about squatters or anything else, are taking approximately 6 to 8 months. That seems crazy to me. Like, if someone was just like renting out their home because they didn't have enough time or whatever, like in terms of like them moving to another home, like that's crazy. That could basically break their finances, like these landlords. He says squatter cases are on the rise partly because people know they can live rent free for months. The problem that police have is when they show up to a scene like that, they don't know who is telling the truth, Zink told CBS Chicago. Young said she was unable to sell the property because of Murray's presence. Meanwhile, the Windy City has refused to turn off the water service in the building, leaving Young with a bill for more than $1,300 according to the report. Now, I think that's really weird. Why would they refuse to turn off the water for a building that's technically, legally speaking, not occupied? Earlier this month, another family faced a similar predicament in the same neighborhood. Karen Polk decided it was time to sell her family's bungalow after her mother died, but a squatter snuck in and refused to leave. The squatters claimed they signed a lease and paid several months' rent up front to a person who told them he owned the property. This all started in September, but we didn't get a court date until mid December, Polk told the outlet. In that particular session, none of the occupants showed up. That's just how the process goes. If they don't show up, another court date is assigned. Like, that is so beyond ridiculous to me, right? Like, if the court systems act like that, you should probably find a way to get rid of your property. Find a way, right? And just leave the whole area, right? Even if you take a loss, because dealing with that, you're just going to be bleeding money every single month, nonstop, potentially for years. Like, that's just so crazy. So maybe the house can be sealed by the owner so the squatter can live there permanently for a long time without coming out of the house. I don't see this as a matter of squatting and evicting a tenant. It is simply criminal burglary and trespass. The cops should just arrest him and enact and enforce a restraining order. There is no legal precedent in Illinois that I know of that would see someone who just barged in for 6 months to be a squatter with any rights. But I could be wrong. This seems like a matter of the cops simply not knowing the law or how to do their job, and of the courts being corrupt and saying they're overburdened, which may be true, but doesn't excuse corruption and the failure to investigate, enforce the law, and pursue justice. I understand homelessness is a problem, but the solution is not trespassing and burglarizing and stealing someone else's house. Come on. You're the owner, there's no such thing as squatters' rights. Bring in armed security and have them remove the criminal trespasser from your property along with his stuff, and then change the locks again. If he wants to bring it to court after that, let him. He has no lease, no right to be there whatsoever. The thing is, I'd probably do that because, like, to me, it just seems so crazy to just go along with this because you're basically getting screwed over constantly. Let's see. The family can't find a hitman in Chicago, of all places. Let's see. Maybe it's just me, but if that were my mom's house, Mr. Tequila and his housemate would already be on the curb. Okay, that's some dark stuff. You still in the house, start making some special repairs that this criminal can't deal with. It is fun once you get going. Apparently, Georgia has good eviction laws for landlords. I don't know about squatters. Hmm. Why can't the cops just take him out there? He doesn't have any rights. Common sense should be an easy case. The thing is, I mean, I feel like if the guy cannot produce any sort of proof that he signed a lease at all, even a fake one, they should just be able to take him out, like out of the place. Like, I don't understand the line of thinking of these cops to like not do anything at all.